Part 3. The Grand Transformation. Cinderella's life had changed dramatically since that enchanting night at the royal ball. She was no longer confined to her rags and the endless chores her wicked stepmother and stepsisters had forced upon her. Now, as the beloved princess of the kingdom, she lived in the grandeur of the palace, surrounded by luxury and kindness. Her days were filled with new experiences, from learning about the kingdom's governance to riding through the lush gardens on a majestic white stallion. Cinderella's heart was light, but her compassion remained unchanged. She spent time with the villagers, listened to their stories, and helped those in need. One sunny morning, as Cinderella strolled through the palace gardens, she encountered a group of children playing by the fountain. Their laughter filled the air, and Cinderella couldn't help but join in their merriment. As she played with the children, a sense of nostalgia washed over her. She remembered her childhood, the laughter and joy she had shared with her parents before their untimely passing. Cinderella's heart ached for the happiness she had lost, and she wished that her parents could have seen her now, living the life of a princess. But amidst the laughter and games, Cinderella couldn't help but notice a young girl sitting alone on a bench. The girl's eyes were downcast, and her tattered dress hinted at a life of hardship. Cinderella's heart went out to her, and she approached with a warm smile. "What's your name, dear?" Cinderella asked gently. The girl looked up, her eyes widening in surprise as she realized she was speaking to the princess. "I'm Ella," she replied, her voice soft. Cinderella's heart skipped a beat at the name, for it reminded her of the nickname her parents had lovingly given her. "Ella, it's a pleasure to meet you," she said. "Would you like to join in our games?" Ella hesitated for a moment, but then nodded with a shy smile. Cinderella introduced her to the other children, and soon Ella was laughing and playing just like the rest. The joy on her face was a sight to behold, and Cinderella felt a deep connection with the girl. As the day wore on, Cinderella learned more about Ella's life. She had lost her parents at a young age and was living with her cruel stepmother and two stepsisters who treated her like a servant. Ella's life was filled with hardship and sadness, much like Cinderella's own past. Cinderella couldn't bear to see Ella suffer, and she knew that she had the power to change her life, just as her own life had been transformed. She decided to invite Ella to the palace, where she would be treated with kindness and given the chance for a brighter future. With the permission of Ella's stepmother, Cinderella welcomed the young girl into the palace. Ella's eyes filled with wonder as she explored the grand halls and received a room of her own. She was no longer a servant, but a cherished member of the royal family. As days turned into weeks, Ella's life underwent a grand transformation. She received an education, made friends, and learned the ways of the palace. But most importantly, she found a loving family in Cinderella and the prince, who had always longed for a sister. Cinderella's heart swelled with happiness as she watched Ella thrive, knowing that she had brought light and love into the young girl's life, just as her own life had been touched by magic and kindness. And so, the heartbroken story of Cinderella took a new turn, one filled with adventure, emotion, and excitement. Cinderella had found not only her own happily ever after, but also brought happiness to another, proving that even in the face of heartache, love and kindness could change the course of a life. Please subscribe for going forward, and your subscription is my inspiration. If you are not a kid, please don't dislike.